Being bored at home can possibly be the worst thing for introverts. See, introverts such as myself love spending quiet, reserved time alone, as well as having time to introspect. But there's a key difference between wanting to spend time alone and actually being alone. When there's an increasing number of people moving out and actually living independently, there becomes the struggle of trying to find new people in your network and the new community that you moved into. And then there's also the struggle of trying to maintain the old connections, whether it be friends or family members, because let's be honest, some of our connections were only good because of proximity. So when it comes to developing new relationships, how do you tackle this new kind of inconvenience of not being close to what you used to do? That's where loneliness can kind of creep in, because there's one thing to just do things on your own because you had a choice versus now having to fill that void because you can't go to your friend's apartment next door, or you can't go to your mom's house that was only a couple blocks away. With this new challenge, how do people overcome this? Well, by default, we meet new people at the places we spend the most time at. For some people, that would be going to work or going to school, and this is great because you're able to develop relationships over a longer period of time by chit-chatting and talking to people. And through those chit-chats and conversations, you might actually develop a really great relationship that leads you into getting the coveted and awesome invitation to go out somewhere. This is great because this invitation can be as small as going to a birthday party or going to somewhere as big as like a bigger celebration. And as you and your friend are creating plans and talking to each other of how you're going to plan and organize and get ready, something happens. Whether it be good or bad, or something that you're looking forward to, or something that you're sad about, the cancellation happens. Now, when this cancellation happens, there's different perspectives. A lot of people just assume when it comes to introverts, we celebrate and celebrate because we have the opportunity to stay at home, because aren't all introverts homebodies? Well, it could be a different story because for some of us introverts, getting that invitation was our way of not only trying to spend time with that person, but also our way of getting out and trying something new, which could lead to a problem. See, there's an understandable idea that going out and going somewhere could lead to seeing different people, but sometimes seeing different people can lead to overstimulation. So that's understandable that you may not want to see all these people at once because you're afraid of getting nervous. But if you going out somewhere, especially if it was a one-on-one, like going to a new restaurant or maybe trying an activity like skating, where it's not going to be a lot of people or you're just focusing on one person, that would be something that allows you to engage and develop a relationship, a one-on-one connection that won't be as overwhelming. When that's canceled, that could be upsetting because if that was your only way of trying something new, that could lead to a problem of you defaulting to what you always do at home. Now, there's nothing wrong with having activities like reading books, watching movies, crocheting, or doing other oddball activities. But if you do those activities day in and day out in your life, that becomes your norm. And if any time something was to go wrong or you can't go hang out with your friends or plans are canceled, you do the same activity, you might become bored of your own routine. Now, if you're having a hard time finding activities around you, I recommend going to different TikTok pages, social media, to find creators that are locally around you. And if you're on YouTube searching for fun activities, I recommend trying my website where you can find fun activities that you can do in the Raleigh-Durham area here in North Carolina, which you can find different activities by suburb and also by price. But if you're having a hard time finding activities or challenges that you can do for yourself, then I also recommend you just try to talk to people around you. It can be really hard to come up with creative ideas when you're so used to doing the things that you do day in and day out for fun, or when it comes to your casual catch up with your friends. But remember, these challenges don't have to be extravagant. I think a lot of times when we think about doing fun things for ourselves, we think about going bungee jumping or maybe going swimming in the pool. But in actuality, in our day-to-day lives, we don't necessarily have that time or space to do such extravagant activities. But there are things that you can do to make it more manageable. Like right now, there's been this huge trend of people doing self-care solo dates. And the great thing about these type of activities is that they're much more manageable and easy to do during a weekend or during the middle of the day. Like it's very easy to take yourself out to a restaurant and eat, enjoy your favorite meal, or try a new meal. But one way to level this up to make it a little bit more fun and entertaining is maybe doing an activity like writing to yourself. Or maybe instead of crocheting in your home like you usually do, maybe try to crochet in the park. It doesn't necessarily mean doing something, again, extravagant or really big, but it's just doing something different in an area you wouldn't normally do it at. Another great example is like, let's say you're a person who is socially anxious, or you don't like being surrounded by a lot of people because that's how you feel that you get a lot of your energy drained. Look at different event calendars and different activities around you to see if there's a timing where you don't have to be surrounded by so many people. Like, for example, when it comes to skating, during the weekends, a lot of those places like skate rinks and parks can be filled. But maybe going in the afternoon or going during a weekday would be less people and still gives you a chance to enjoy your activity. Or maybe, let's say you're taking up a hobby. A great way to not do the overall big expense of doing that hobby is maybe watching YouTube videos. Watching YouTube videos of like learning how to dance. For my example, what I'm doing is learning how to crochet. Is much more, again, easy and manageable to do because you're able to do it at any time. But it's not the huge cost of, let's say, taking a private class at your local yard studio or at a craft store. So keep those things in mind. You can always work your way up when you're trying to learn new skills and maybe try to get into new hobbies. It doesn't have to be something that's super time consuming, nor does it have to be something that's super overwhelming that you feel like you have to push yourself, that makes you feel super uncomfortable. Hopefully this gives you some inspiration when it comes to different activities that you can do that can accommodate your lifestyle, as well as things that could be a little bit more manageable for you to do, especially as an introvert. And those who are extroverts who are watching this, hopefully this will keep in mind when it comes to coming up with different plans when you're thinking about taking your introverted friends out. And if you're a person who is finding inspiration watching this video, I'd like you to tell me down in the comments, are any of these ideas or things that I recommend to help you when it comes to your boredom at home actually feel like ideas that you want to try? And if you already tried out some of these ideas, don't forget to tell people down in the comments of what you think would be a better or what could be another resource that people can use. And of course, if you like this type of content, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share it to someone who might find inspiration. And of course, continue to watch my channel to watch more content because I'm thinking about creating a series. So if you want to know what the next video is going to be,